never did nothing to them.
Right.
I never said anything bad about them. So it's something that's personal, and obviously they crying for help.
That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen.
Kevin Hart called Katt Williams a helpless weakling, clinging to fame in an attempt to bury him. However, fans changed the script and exposed Kevin as the actual dishonest imposter. The backlash is currently blowing up. Social media erupted like a live wire as soon as Kevin made his comments. What he had anticipated would be a victory lap instead became a public trial. The same audience that had praised him as comedy's golden kid was tearing him to pieces within hours as his remarks came across as
possibly do research or fact check, and if they do, then great. If they don't, then kudos to that as well. I just don't have the time for it.
Kevin's recent interview, in which he dismissed Katt as berate and unimportant, served as the catalyst. He presented himself as the one who overcame discipline, while Katt purportedly became enraged. However, Kevin has previously adopted this stance. When he chastised Katt for criticizing Tiffany Haddish in 2018, he used the same tone. He added that Katt had to accept responsibility back then. He is now replicating that strategy, but the public is evolved. Fans recall how Kevin used to act superior and how the controversies that affected everyone else didn't appear to affect him as he moved through Hollywood. This time, they're referring to it as a mask as they believe it to be. Let's go back to January 3. A cultural earthquake is caused when Katt Williams appears on Shannon Sharpe's Club Shay Shay podcast. From beginning to end, nearly 3 hours of unadulterated honesty burnt the earth. He called out everyone, including Michael Blackson, Steve Harvey, and Cedric the Entertainer, but Kevin's name was the one that went viral online. Before he ever got his stripes, Katt accused him of being a Hollywood plant, a man prepared for celebrity. Katt questioned how someone could land a comedy in a big film in their first year in Los Angeles, saying he already had his deals when he got here. It sounded like an accusation of insider engineering, of power brokers manufacturing a star. Kevin answered right away. He posted, "Gotta get that anger out, Jamp. It's really depressing," on X on January 4. He then promoted his Netflix movie Lift in the same sentence. It was a tidy corporate turnaround. Some would refer to it as strategic. Some referred to it as slimy, because Kevin continued to utilize the dispute as a commercial tool even as he pretended to get over it. His own reputation was set on fire by his tweet. Fans began labeling him a hypocrite and responding with screenshots of previous issues. They capitalized on the friction while making fun of his attempt to sound mature. Katt keeps it real, a person said. Kevin maintains his profitability. Someone else said, "You can't preach positivity when half your career is
Bad error in judgment and put myself in an environment where only bad things can happen, and they did. And in doing that, I know that I'm going to hurt.
Kevin's personal life hasn't exactly shouted transparency, which is why that comment struck so hard. The 2023 lawsuit, in which he accused YouTuber Tasha K of extortion after an interview with his former assistant threatened to reveal more secrets, allegations of infidelity, gambling, and financial chaos, or the 2017 scandal, in which he acknowledged making poor decisions after footage from Las Vegas became public, are still remembered on the internet. While Kevin files a lawsuit to defend his reputation, Katt enters interviews and exposes everyone and everything. It's a terrible contrast. One hides behind solicitors, while the other hides behind the truth. Hollywood Puppet and Team Katt were popular hashtags by the evening following Kevin's tweet. The public's reaction turned into a trust survey. Katt's supporters praised his refusal to play the game by flooding streams with excerpts from the Pimp Chronicles. They claimed that his candor is risky since it unnerves the wrong people. Kevin, meanwhile, was portrayed as the industry's cheerful enforcer, too well-groomed, too controlled, too secure. The term industry plant evolved from an insult to an identity. Comedy was no longer the exclusive focus. It concerned the ownership of the authenticity narrative in black entertainment. Insiders murmured behind the commotion that Kevin's most recent jab wasn't coincidental. He has a new film, Left, and his empire is surrounded by an increasing amount of litigation. His court proceedings against Tasha K, in which he accuses her of attempting to extort $250,000 to bury damning charges from his ex-assistant, were conveniently diverted by the interview. People were skeptical because of the timing. It appeared to be a calculated diversion.
I don't feed into the stuff at all. At the end of the day, it's all entertainment to a certain degree, so you just hope that people can be smart enough. And
even comedians who had previously maintained their neutrality began to favor posts that supported Katt. Michael Blackson and Cedric the Entertainer attempted to defuse the situation, but it was unsuccessful. The story had changed. Katt was no longer the antagonist. He was the informant who exposed what Ice Cube used to refer to as gatekeepers, and that phrase began to appear everywhere once more. The notion that select Hollywood elites control who is allowed to advance and who is suppressed. Kevin's name started to be associated with that system. They cited his early successes, the starring role in Soul Plane, the early sitcom deals, and the fact that no average comic can climb so quickly without assistance. Although it's just conjecture, the timing of Katt's remarks and Kevin's professional background made the hypothesis seem plausible. Ice Cube had recently discussed gatekeepers and the potential for invisible forces to influence entertainment on The Breakfast Club. Fans started connecting such concepts all of a sudden. Katt Williams tells it like it is. Kevin Hart is a system player. The system retaliates. According to insiders, Kevin's crew is currently in tight control mode. Every headline is centered around the Netflix release. Narratives are being scrubbed and comments are being disabled. But that tactic may already be ineffective. Fans pull Kevin back into the ground with receipts each time he tries to turn around. His homophobic jokes were brought to light by past cheating scandals, the extortion action, and even the 2018 Oscar hosting issue. A surge of skepticism is causing what was meant to be a pristine Hollywood image to fall apart. People's preconceived notions about comedic success have been challenged by Katt's ruthless candor. Even more intriguing is the claim made by those close to the scene that this conflict is political as well as personal. They essentially,
I'm supposed to come in and restore order because that's my position. The fact that it's ignored by the clowns because they're all in the same frat, comedically, like, that's all well and good. I don't care nothing about none of that. But
Kevin's recent weakling remarks, according to those same insiders, were a part of a bigger effort to publicly denigrate Katt, but it may have backfired more than anybody anticipated, because Katty is gaining sympathy as the lone rebel against the Hollywood apparatus, while Kevin is pushing films. These days, the energy on the internet feels more like insurrection than gossip. Fans are requesting records, looking through previous interviews, and making connections between Kevin's silence on certain subjects and the broader concept of entertainment and control. Kevin's tweet has had the opposite effect of what he had hoped for. Every wound he has attempted to heal since his first scandal has been reopened. However, Kevin is utterly mistaken if he believes that this will put a stop to Katt, as there are already rumors circulating about the true plots underlying their conflict, and it will soon be.
I'm not going to damn you, but we're talking about a very long time ago. Yeah. And this is not you're not old, but.
You're going to go back to it again.
No, I'm just saying, but fuck.
Kevin's personal life hasn't exactly shouted transparency, which is why that comment struck so hard. The 2023 lawsuit, in which he accused YouTuber Tasha K of extortion after an interview with his former assistant threatened to reveal more secrets, allegations of infidelity, gambling, and financial chaos, or the 2017 scandal, in which he acknowledged making poor decisions after footage from Las Vegas became public, are still remembered on the internet. While Kevin files a lawsuit to defend his reputation, Katt enters interviews and exposes everyone and everything. It's a terrible contrast. One hides behind solicitors, while the other hides behind the truth. Hollywood Puppet and Team Katt were popular hashtags by the evening following Kevin's tweet. The public's reaction turned into a trust survey. Katt's supporters praised his refusal to play the game by flooding streams with excerpts from the Pimp Chronicles. They claimed that his candor is risky since it unnerves the wrong people. Kevin, meanwhile, was portrayed as the industry's cheerful enforcer, too well-groomed, too controlled, too secure. The term industry plant evolved from an insult to an identity. Comedy was no longer the exclusive focus. It concerned the ownership of the authenticity narrative in black entertainment. Insiders murmured behind the commotion that Kevin's most recent jab wasn't coincidental. He has a new film, Left, and his empire is surrounded by an increasing amount of litigation. His court proceedings against Tasha K, in which he accuses her of attempting to extort $250,000 to bury damning charges from his ex-assistant, were conveniently diverted by the interview. People were skeptical because of the timing. It appeared to be a calculated diversion, punched tat in an attempt to divert attention from the legal heat, but it just served to fuel the flames. Katt didn't.
If there's brilliance in that, then I'm appreciative to that, and I'm trying to be a brilliant person, not a brilliant comedian.
Cats have always been wild, erratic, and uncontrollable. Conversely, Kevin established his empire by being secure enough for corporate America. Katt was penalized when he deviated from the script. Kevin received endorsement deals while he was a ball player. Hollywood loves a controllable star. Katt was never that, the promoter stated. Because it sums up how people have felt for years, that line is quickly going viral on the internet. Kevin's success seems contrived. The narrative's reversal is evident. Every scandal that was once forgotten has reappeared like a ghost parade. The video of his cheating confession, the attempt at extortion, the court cases, and even the direct communication that his wife Inu received about his affair. Everything is being uncovered as evidence of hypocrisy. Kevin's supporters, however, have become silent as Katt's supporters accuse him of being a truth teller for having the audacity to reveal Hollywood's corruption. It's nearly ironic. Once labeled as self-sabotage, Katt's candor today reads as integrity in a time when openness is paramount. A darker theory is developing behind the scenes, one that connects Kevin's conflict with Katt to a larger control structure that performers like Ice Cube have long hinted at. Katt's charges are being repeated with Cube's previous remarks regarding gatekeepers who determine who survives and who disappears. It is implied that Kevin is more than just a part of this system. He could be one of its preferred faces. According to insiders, the algorithm rewards someone who is more submissive anytime a black comedian becomes too vocal. And Kevin's career, from sitcoms to blockbusters to stadium tours, fits that description too perfectly to be disregarded. We can't ignore how fast Kevin changed from reprimanding Katt to acting like the victim. It wasn't just patronizing to get angry over "you champ." Under the pretense of banter, it was slick PR. In a few hours, he shared the trailer for his movie Lift with the message, "They really love you. I understand now that she's referring to Katt." It seemed staged, as though the feud had been planned to coincide with his release date. Fans, however, were not duped. They charged him with controlling the situation to get attention while avoiding responsibility for everything else that was going on under his brand. The topic of discussion on the internet has now moved from who said what to why Kevin decided to pursue Katt once more at this particular time. People who are aware of their past point to a long-simmering psychological undertone. This is unresolved resentment, not just ego. When Katt made fun of Tiffany Haddish's unexpected surge back in 2018, Kevin jumped to her defense and publicly denigrated Katt. Something deeper was revealed by the collision: the annoyance of a peer who refused to cooperate.
Years I never been on a commercial audition in my life. Like, I never let my tour get sponsored when I was broke or now.
Additionally, the period coincides with the business calendar due precisely to be disregarded. According to insiders, Kevin's endorsement partners were keeping a close eye on his recent legal troubles and personal disputes in the hopes that the media attention would subside before launching fresh advertisements. He might have put himself back in the news during those negotiations by rekindling a public feud. It's ironic. He might have compromised his business safety net in an attempt to regain control. In the meantime, Katt is being considered for podcast appearances.
I want the Katt Williams that you see in the movie. I want that to be the same dude you see at the gas.
We are witnessing two comedians who were previously at opposite extremes of the profession, but are now caught in the same mental cycle. Relevance haunts them both. Both are using comedy as a weapon to cover up weakness. Katt's instability now reads as sincerity, whereas Kevin's polish has begun to appear brittle. In reality, what we're witnessing is a conflict between order and chaos, as well as the unsettling reality that the audience is now on the side of chaos. Kevin may have unintentionally revealed how reliant on praise he has become by attempting to paint Katt as unstable, turning his criticism into a confession, and the consequences may be just getting started. Publicists suggest that some advertisers may discreetly withdraw from Kevin's ventures due to reputational issues if the outcry persists. For Katt, some foresee the opposite outcome, a wave of grassroots support from admirers who see him as the final unvarnished voice in a sanitized industry. It is impossible to ignore the irony. The man who intended to degrade his opponent can wind up elevating him instead. If this pattern persists, the weak moment can be seen as the point at which Kevin Hart's flawlessly run empire started to crumble under its own image, rather than as an insult. Other comedians have discreetly distanced themselves as the criticism grows. Some, like Michael Blackson, attempted to use humor to lighten the mood, but even that failed. Comments such as, "They're protecting the puppet, Cedric," were common. Katt also chastised the performer who intervened to term the feud corny. However, his tone further supported the audience's preconceived notion that the veterans are circling wagons to protect their own. The internet finds another reason to praise Katt's bravery for each attempt to paint him as resentful. Additionally, there are rumors that Kevin's team has started covert damage control. According to people close to his management, he has been told to avoid social media and focus on initiatives that change the story. Wait until people forget is the PR code for that. However, forgetfulness might not occur this time. Kevin's reputation as Hollywood's golden everyman is beginning to deteriorate as YouTubers and bloggers relive every unpleasant headline, from his cheating incident to the backlash from his previous Oscars. One conflict is no longer the focus of the narrative. It's about a profession based on strategic survival. Meanwhile, Katt is experiencing an odd surge of validation. He seems to increase rather than diminish his credibility with each insult. Club Shay Shay videos have received millions of views. Fans have transformed Katt's tirade into a cultural reckoning and a
keeping the illusion intact.
When people are against the Illuminati, then they get punched in the face all the time. The press hates them, and nobody likes them.
We've heard that some insiders refer to this as the comedy version of the Illuminati theory. A smaller group of entertainment elites uses selective sabotage to safeguard their income rather than the wild illusion of global domination. Whether he likes it or not, Kevin has come to represent that story. The suspicion that he's following directions is strengthened by every action he takes to appear respectable. Fans are unable to ignore the label that Katt accused him of being an industry fabrication. And that's where tonight's tension is. A referendum on celebrity itself has emerged from Kevin's attempt to silence his critic. Is talent still the key to success in Hollywood, or is obedience more important? One thing is evident as hypotheses proliferate and receipts emerge.